What's up, Roxstars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Greenleaf Season 5, Episode 2, you guys. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, let's start with Grace and Sophia. We see them at the hospital. I was like, that damn AJ ain't dead. Isn't that horrible to say? I was just so annoyed about this. I'm just like, whatever. So anyway, while they're out there waiting, you know, Sophia's asleep, but Grace is anxiously waiting. The doctor comes out and says, good news, he's gonna be fine, he's stable. Is that his girlfriend? Looking at Sophia, Grace says, no, that's his sister. She insisted on staying. You know, the rest of the family, they were here, but they left. And the doctor is like, pretty much you should leave too, because it's going to be a while before you can talk to him, you know, because Grace is like, I'm just going to stay until I can talk to him. And she's like, he's got a lot of things that he's got to do before he's going to be ready to speak with you. He's got to talk to a psychiatrist, you know, a psychologist, all this that he has to do considering he tried to kill himself. Okay. Did you guys pick up when she asked Grace if she was injured? And Grace said, no, why? And the doctor just kind of looked at her. I was like, okay, so does he have HIV? It was a lot of blood, and Grace was handling him, you know, so I don't know exactly what Mama meant about, Granny, what the doctor meant about that, but it makes me feel like something is wrong with him, and the doctor was concerned maybe that Grace might have got it, but could not tell Grace that because he's an adult, and that is, you know, private information. So, you know, just something I noticed. So anyway, the doctor tells her to go on home because it's going to be a while. We'll let you know when you can speak with him. Now, at the house, Bishop is trying to get May to eat. You know, not until she gets this sign from God. Bishop still wants to get this show on the road. Are we still getting married or what? And she was just like, while our grandson is in the hospital? And Bishop was just like, and why do we have to put everything on hold for him? That damn AJ just stay fucking shit up. Anyway, Grace and Sophia come home and they're exhausted because they've been up all night. You know, Bishop was like, how's that grandson of ours? Grace says he's stable, he's gonna be okay, you know, and Bishop says, I know you guys must be exhausted, and they're like, yeah, we are. Sophia's about to go up and lay down, and so is Grace, okay? She gives them the key to Mavis's place, okay? Remember, Mavis had given it to Grace. Grace is now giving it to the Bishop and Lady May because they are considering that location for their new church. So while Grace is heading upstairs, here comes Charity. Oh, Grace, how's AJ? And Grace said, he's fine. And she says, just fine? That's it, just fine? Yes, Charity, just fine. You better be glad you get that shit. Grace walks on up the stairs, you know, leaving Charity there with the old modation scratch the neck. Lady May looked up at her and she was just like, well, what did you expect, Charity? You did almost get her son sent to jail, and you did give away our church. And Charity was like, well, Mama, why'd you guys invite me to the wedding? She was like, because that was Bishop's idea. If it was up to me, you would be sitting under a tree with a dunce's cap on in the cold swinging shadow of your favorite Bible hero. And Charity says, who? That would be Naomi. Oh, and honey, why she say that? May was like, Judas. Bishop had to get in between her, you know, and Bishop was like, well, she does have a point, Charity. Charity just looks at her dear dad, who's usually in her corner. She says, I'm going to church. Okay, you know, where they like me. I said, girl, they don't like you there either. Grace, when she went up to her room, you know, she's feeling mighty low. And Darius calls her right on time. She tells him that AJ tried to kill himself last night, and he was like, oh my God, like, are you okay? Is there anything that I can do? And she was like, just tell me why you're calling. You know, I need something to take my mind off of this. What's up? Give me the news. He says, well, he's been trying to talk to Cal. You guys remember Cal? That was one of the cool white pastor churches of another mega church. Remember, they were trying to combine, Harmony and Hope was trying to combine Calvary, I was about to call it Calgary and Cal's church together. So he says, I've been trying to reach Cal. He is avoiding my call. Maybe Grace can step in since she has a relationship with him. And so Grace says, come and pick me up, okay? I'm too tired to drive. So Darius come pick her up and they take it on down to Cal's house. Now, you know, they knock on the door, take a minute for Cal to get to the door. But when he finally gets there and he sees him, you know, he's sort of like, what y'all doing here? And Grace was like, Cal, we needed to talk to you. This is the reporter that had been trying to reach you and you've been avoiding this call all this time. And he was like, yeah, I know. Bob told all the pastors about this. With the merger that's going on, he doesn't want us to talk to you. So basically, Cal was like, I'm going to need you to go away from me with this. Okay, he ain't trying to talk. When he closes the door in their face, Darius and Grace was like, yeah, there's something here. There's something going on. Why is Bob telling everybody not to talk to us? Darius says, I don't know, but you got some time? Let's go pick up some lunch so we can talk about it. And Grace was like, yeah, I can't do that. I got to go back to the hospital. I got to meet Noah there. And Darius is like, oh, Noah's coming, huh? Oh, so you guys are kind of back on? And she was like, no, not at all. But he is AJ's father, and, his wife had been thrown him out, so him and the wife ain't together, and, it's a whole lot of drama there, but trust me, we ain't trying to do that. So she was like, but I do have to go and meet him there. So Darius was like, okay, well, go handle your business. So Grace goes to the hospital, and when Noah sees her, he go rushing up to her and just falls on her like, oh, Grace, and hugs her all tightly. He's so happy to see her. And she kind of looking like, nigga, if you don't bag back, look, hold on, move. I was like, Noah, this ain't no long lost love. They sit down, they're talking, Noah goes and gets them some coffee, and he's like, I'm just so sorry that you had to deal with this all by yourself. I said, yeah, nigga, it took your ass 3 fucking months to get there. I mean, what the hell took you so long? She told you a long time ago the boy was around. They done been back and forth to Arizona 15 times, and you still couldn't get there. Where the hell was he? But anyway, Grace was like, I didn't really have to handle it by myself. My family was here. And he was like, well, if anybody can take it, you definitely can. You've always been strong. Okay, black women always gotta be strong, y'all. So Grace is listening to him. She says, well, what happened with Isabel? We already knew that was a doomed marriage before it even started, Grace. Isabel had so many insecurities. I mean, granted, you was fucking around with Noah. So, we can't blame Isabel, but it wasn't supposed to be in the first place. Noah come give her some song and dance about Isabel. Basically, she wasn't strong enough. So now he's back in town. He's staying with his mom until he can get, his feet planted somewhere. Basically, he want to see how all this plays out. I said, nigga, what? You want to see how what plays out? What part of playing out do you need to see other than AJ is your son and, you can try to forge some sort of relationship with the boy if you want to. The doctor comes out and tells both Noah and Grace that AJ don't want to speak to either one of them. Now, that nigga in there having his own issues because we know that either he lying and he ain't AJ, and the real AJ is the one that got killed in the barrel of fire and gunshots the other day, or he's just being his regular old miserable AJ self, and for whatever reason, he just can't get over the fact that Grace is trying to help him, and that really is her son. I guess I'm starting to believe that the former is the general opinion of everybody, that he's not really AJ. He's taken over his identity or whatever. I don't even really care. I'm so done with the real AJ, the fake AJ. I don't give a fuck. Get them all off. This is a real annoying storyline, even more annoying than Charity, if you ask me. So the doctor says, don't worry about it. He's a suicide victim. He's going to go through these stages. He might be in a shame spell or whatever. Yeah, shame or guilt. Anyway, when Grace and Noah are leaving, Noah says that he just wants them all to try to work this out and be a family again. And I was just like, are you kidding me? No, we don't want you. Grace don't want you. She got that fine ass Rick Fox in over there. Why the hell would she be dealing with your old Eric Benet looking self? She was just like, no, we're not doing that. How you think we gonna be a family and I don't even feel like I'm a part of my own family? He was just like, yeah, but that's kind of just how you are. And she was like, what? Yeah, that's just your thing. That's how you do. And she was like, you take that back. And he was like, what? Take that back. He says, fine, I'm sorry. And I was like, and then you're going to insult her and think that it's all good. Boy, if you don't take your black ass up fucking where. Anyway, he's kind of nonchalant about it. All right, same time tomorrow. He going to meet her up there at the hospital. Yeah, get on, Noah. Grace takes it on home. She's feeling pretty low again. And she bumps into her mom out there on the stairs in front of the estate. And, May is feeling reflective. She tells Grace that you are blessed to have a second chance with your child. May doesn't have that luxury. Her daughter is gone. She can go visit her grave, but that's not even the same. She knows her daughter is not there. You know, she doesn't feel it. She can only pray that when she dies and goes to heaven, you know, she'll see Faith again and Faith will come up to her and hug her. But even in that dream, she knows that that's probably not going to happen. But Grace tells her that it's different in your situation, Mama. I guess she's saying because Faith is gone, there's no way for that to be corrected. However, AJ is here and he won't even look at his mother. He won't even talk to her. I said, Grace, don't be beating yourself up about that boy, girl. Gone, shit. You know, when Grace goes in the house, Charity pulls up and May sees her and she's about to go in and she's like, wait a minute, Mama, wait a minute. What do you want, Charity? Well, Mama, just tell me what you want me to do. Is this how it's always going to be? You know, between me and you and Grace? Maybe I should have just moved. I should have taken the baby and moved and gone somewhere else. Charity is feeling like, oh, woe is me. And Lady May says, girl, listen here. Grace just got home from the hospital and AJ don't even want to see her, don't even want to talk to his own mother. And I just left the grave of Faith, okay? Girl, you don't know real problems. And she walked in the house and I was like, oh, that's kind of not nice to say, because we must remember that Charity also lost. She lost the baby, you know. So you know, even though Charity gets on my nerves, I was just like, oh, that was kind of fucked up, because Charity in the same way has lost a child, the same way everybody else has, in some which kind of way. So I did feel sorry for the girl. Later on, we see that May and Bishop, they go over to Mavis's spot, which is actually a very popular cigar bar out here in Atlanta. I think it's off of Piedmont. And again, this is where the new church is going to be. And when you look at Bishop's face and when you look at Lady May's face, I think they are both having two different memories. Lady May is not even sure if she's liking the idea of starting over. And, you know, Bishop, oh, it'll be fine. She says, well, the good thing is that there's no rent. But the only way that I can see this ever working is if we took a wrecking ball to it, down to the ground, maybe tear up the ground as well, because, honey, ain't no telling what Mavis got up underneath this place. It could be some damn dead bodies, as far as Lady May know. And Bishop was like, oh, you know, he's going through look at the paintings, you know, this reminds him of this and this reminds him of that. Like I said, yeah, your recollection of Mavis is probably way more of a good time than the one that May got. So, yeah, Lady May is just rolling her eyes and disgusted, and Bishop is stuck in the memories. So James says, well, the only way they could do that is if they actually got in touch with Mavis. But May, don't get all in your feelings. These are all about my feelings that I'm up in. You know, if you really want me to be here, the only way that this is going to happen is that this place has to go. So Bishop takes it on home. He tries to call Mavis. Okay, you guys know that Mavis, you know, surrounds herself with a good time at all times. So wherever he calls her, you know, she sounds like she probably has another bar somewhere. The person answers the phone. It's a whole bunch of noise going on in the background. People sound like they having a good time and whatnots. You know, Bishop was like, may I speak with Mavis? The person can barely hear him and all of this, but he's like, tell him it's James. So he's on hold. He's waiting, you know, and then he get to thinking about it. And he was just like, yeah, maybe I don't need to speak to Mavis. Maybe this is bringing in some old, you know, shit that I'm not ready to be rousing up. I say, yeah, James, now you and Lady May, y'all on a good path. So maybe you need to leave it alone. Now, let's jump over to Charity. So when Charity had left the house, she goes to the church. You know, she walks in. Hey, everybody, how you doing? How you doing? You know, she's waving. And then when she gets to her office, she sees that they're painting in there. And she was like, excuse me, to her secretary, what is going on in here? She was like, oh, well, they say that the first lady, you know, Judy, the one that took your man. Oh, yeah, she actually wants this office and she wants it painted pink and gray. Okay. And so Charity goes like, what? This is my office. So she goes storming the sidekick Phil's office. What is going on? Why is she painting my office? Well, the first lady wants to be right there. And she was just like, but I'm the assistant pastor. I mean, damn, why is she painting? We gotta, you know, we're tearing this place down in a week. Really? She got to go do all of this? And he says, well, she wants to have some, you know, some form of ownership too. And Charity walks up to him and she's like, and you act like she owns you. I said, he ain't acting, girl. She does own him. She just goes and sweeps all of the stuff off his table and she storms out in her tight ass dress. I said, that girl gonna need the next size. Can we get the next size up? Just the next one. She's so upset, you guys. She goes to the bathroom to catch her breath, and then she starts crying. I said, oh, poor Charity. I mean, this is a lot to endure. You got to watch your man with another woman, and then she like lily white and a bitch to boot. Yeah, that's a whole lot for old Charity. Poor dumb thing. But Charity got to get it together, right? Put your big girl bloomers on. This is what you wanted to do. You wanted to be this assistant pastor. I mean, it didn't work out quite exactly like you thought, but oh well. Okay, get it together. She's about to have this meeting with Sidekick Phil and Judy. So here comes Judy chipperly into Sidekick Phil's office. She wants to know what's going on. What is the potential pastor and assistant pastor talking about right now? And Charity said something like they have to have a down and dirty ramp. I didn't know what she was talking about. They have to have it installed before a certain time. And, Judy was like, well, I've seen you with the choir, so, I'm sure you can get it done. What is the choir supposed to be doing? I didn't understand that little exchange, but it doesn't even really matter right now. So, of course, Judy is all lovey-dovey. Oh, baby, we also got to find a place for Corinne, or she's going to have a problem. Gives Sidekick Phil a kiss. She's walking out, and then Charity says, oh, Judy, the only reason why Sidekick Phil is marrying you is because your father is making him do that. He still is in love with me. And the whole time she looking at Sidekick Phil. I was like, girl, I guess you told her, huh? Oh, no, because Judy came back with a little scripture for that ass. Proverbs 12:16. The vexation of a fool is known at once, but a prudent woman ignores an insult. Move the fuck on. Of course, she's paraphrasing. I was just like, oh. Charity was like, So when Judy has the last word and walks out, she looks at Sidekick Phil. She says, ooh, that is a Christian woman you got there. You should be proud. Okay. And I said, Charity, girl, you losing. You don't even know you losing right now. Stop this. Because Sidekick Phil don't care, and neither do Judy. Well, Sidekick Phil cares, but not enough. Now let's jump over to Jacob. So he's in the storage and he's going through everything, reading up on files and whatnots. He sees a tackle box. He sees a fishing pole. He figures he can take that with him for whatever reason. I was just like, what is that he's taking? But he's got a little, makeshift office set up in there. So it looks like he's got a lot to do in there, okay? But he takes those two things and he locks it on up, shuts it on down. Back over at the house, in the Jacob and Zora Mama quarters, we see Zora Mama and Zora talking. They folding laundry. I guess this is a mother-daughter bonding moment. Zora telling Zora Mama about Nikki and old boy Dante and how they've been fighting, one moment, talking the next moment. She don't really know what's going on there. She just tired of being in the middle of it. Zora Mama is so pleased that they having this conversation. You can always come to me to talk about anything, even if it's about your cousin AJ or anything else, and Zora appreciates that. While they're sitting there talking, in walks Jacob. Zora looks at him and she says, where you been coming in this early? And he was like, excuse me, I'm the daddy. Do not be asking me where I've been. That's the questions that I ask you. Zora Mama look up at him and she says, did you get the text about the meeting? Yeah, I got the text. I know about the meeting. Okay. Zora was like, what meeting? What are you guys talking about? Jacob ignores all the questions from Zora and he's like, I'm going to go take a shower, So then Zora Mama looks at her and she says, Zora, maybe one day you'll get married and then you'll know all about meetings as well. Later on, we see Zora Mama and Jacob. They with Zora Mama's lawyer. She wants full custody of the little boy. How's the job search going, Jacob? Because that's going to be a part of this whole hearing too, making sure you got some income. Because she coming after you, I'm sure, for some sort of support as well. The lawyer is just trying to get all this clear considering your history. And he was like, my history? Do you know about your client's history? And Zora Mama just looks at him, and he's like, whatever. So she, the lawyer ignores all that. She gives him the paperwork. Okay, you need to sign there that she's getting what she wants. And he was like, well, I at least want joint custody. And she was like, I thought this was a settlement. Basically, I thought that we had already decided on what you was going to do, what you was and was not going to fight and all of that. Like, what's the problem here? And that thick neck ass Jacob just rolls over. All right, I'ma sign it. I was just like, are you really signing away your custody of your child? I tell you, I can't stand that damn Zora mama. Later on, we see Zora. She confronts Zora mama and Jacob. When the hell are you guys gonna tell me what the hell is going on? Jacob was like, if you don't watch your mouth with me, little girl, ain't nobody listening to you, thick neck. She said, you guys are getting a divorce, huh? I already know, so you might as well just tell me. You cheating again? She looks at Jacob and he was just like, excuse me? You better check that disrespect, girl, so she storms on out. And so Zora mama just walks away, and he was like, excuse me, you're not fixing to let me take the blame for all this when it's your damn fault. She said, yeah, this was my fault, but I've been sitting up here towing the line for your cheating, heaving this ass all these years, and nothing was done about it. So yeah, I did mess up this one time. He was like, I'm about to go tell Zora with your slutting ass. Don't make me pull out that will. He was like, Zora mama, you don't even know if that will is true. And she was just like, yeah, I might not know it, but try me. We can find out real easily. Honey, I will march that will down to the people so fast, you wouldn't know what to do with yourself. Okay, so go on and tell Zora, go on and tell her whatever you gotta tell her. And he just standing there because now he not real sure if that will is or isn't true. So the son starts calling, mama, mama. And she was like, are you happy? You done woke up your son. Is there anything that God made that you don't ruin? Okay, and that Jacob was just standing there looking stupid, and she just looks him up and down with disgust. And she was like, coming, baby. I was like, ooh, that Jacob has created a monster in that fucking Zora mama. Ooh, she is horrible. Now we see Sophia, Sophia trying to call Dante, hey, Dante, it's me, leaving some old awkward message, she wanted to talk to him, maybe you can call her back, or you don't have to if you don't want to. I mean, it's not important, but you can call back, okay, goodbye. I was just like, girl, that was awful smooth. So Sophia, because this is her first mature love, I'm supposing, she don't know what to do with herself. So she go over to Zora's place, hey, is Nikki here? And, Zora's like, no, always the bitch. Well, Sophia asked Zora for the playlist that she made for her when she was in the hospital. She wants to give it to AJ. Zora's like, I don't have the playlist anymore. It was accidentally deleted. You and Dante, you guys still a thing? Sophia was like, why does that even matter? I've lost my virginity to this man, and I got to be dealing with the fact that he might be getting back together with Nikki. And Zora was like, she's not a saint any longer. Maybe I can be her friend. You did it with him? I couldn't understand why that made Zora feel better, but okay, girl, go on and get the playlist. I was just playing. Okay, it's over there on the computer, and girl, don't worry about it. It's gonna work itself out. Sophia takes the playlist. It's on a little iPod. I was like, where they found that little thing at? Anyway, she takes it to Grace and says, here, give this to my brother. It helped her. Maybe it will help him. And Grace was like, I'll see if I can even get it to him because he ain't talking to me or his daddy. While they in there talking, in walks Charity. And Grace is looking at her the same way that May was looking at her. What is it that you want, Charity? We ain't doing apologies today. And Charity is like, no, this is not an apology. I just wanted to talk to you. So I think in a attempt to have a sister-to-sister moment, Charity hands a poem to Grace. She says, I wrote this after I lost the baby. What was the baby's name? Eden. Grace is just like, ain't really got too much patience for. I guess I can't blame Grace. She goes on and reads the poem out loud. Grace says, well, why are you giving this to me now? And Charity was like, I just wanted you to know that I too have experienced the pain of loss of a child. I know exactly how you feel. And Grace was like, what? You don't have any idea how I feel. Why is it that you always got to make shit about you? Don't make my son's a suicide attempt about you. What kind of person are you? And Charity is sitting there looking at her like, what? Okay. Give Charity a little bit of a break. So, she goes and snatches up the poem that she wrote, and she was just like, I guess it was my bad. You and mama deserve each other. And she leaves. Okay, we see Sophia. She tries to call Dante again. When the phone picks up, she's like, hey, Dante, it's Sophia. And Nikki was like, this ain't Dante. Okay, and then she hangs up the phone. So I was like, ooh, Sophia, girl, that ain't it. Ooh, what a terrible feeling. You trying to call your man and his girl answers the phone. That means usually you not the girl. We now know that Dante is not even in control of his phone. And then when we see Zora come rushing in later and saying, Sophia, did you send a titty pic to Dante? And she was like, none of your business, girl. And she was like, no, it's everybody's business because it looks like Nikki has posted it. I said, not Pastor Grace's baby girl. Charlie's phone's is gonna be the death of everybody, right? In one way or the other. Bishop, feeling pretty good about himself, thought differently about calling Mavis. He goes and tells Lady May, good news, I have the contractor coming tomorrow so they can give me an estimate on tearing the place down. Oh, you spoke with Mavis? He says, nope, decided not to even talk to her, not to even involve her. James, are you sure of that? And he says, as sure as I am of salvation. And by the way, he wants to set a wedding date. Now, I forgot to tell you guys earlier that they had already spoken about setting a wedding date. That was already what they decided. So now that he's mentioning it again, what is going on here? She was like, James, we already talked about this. Don't you remember we're supposed to be getting married? He says, yes, on Flag Day. Yes, on Flag Day. Okay, so why is it that he forgot, you guys? And then I had a premonition, and many of you guys probably did as well. Something tells me that, I don't know why I'm connecting these two, but something tells me that Bishop is going to die at the end of this season. Okay, it's just, I have this feeling, somebody mentioned it in my comments last week, that there was some sort of sign that they thought that somebody was going to die. Then when I look at the actual titles of the shows, it says day 1. I think this is day 2. There's a countdown to something. I know that we counting down to the tear down of the church, but I think that this countdown means more than just the tear down of the church. I actually think that it means that Bishop is gonna die. And if he does, you guys, I'm telling you, I'm gonna cry like a newborn baby. I think that we need to be preparing ourselves for this, you guys. So when he said Flag Day, yes, June 14th, that's my parents' anniversary, actually. It's got to be a big deal. It's going to be a big day. And May just looks at him, kind of longingly. And that was another sign that I felt like she knew that something was about to happen. So I was just like, oh, no, not Bishop, not Bishop. We done already had one scare with him. Can our hearts take another one? So when he walks off, he's feeling good. He says, without a vision, people perish. Okay. Oh, no truer words were spoken. It's coming, y'all. Later on, we see May, she's eating some pasta. What's the lady name? The maid, Maribel, or whatever her name is. She was like, oh, Lady May, let me at least make you some fresh pasta. That's old. And Lady May was like, you can go make some fresh pasta if you want to, but this one here is mine. Lady May is eating because she's gotten her vision. She got her sign from God. And now she has to make sure that she's strong enough for the days that are coming ahead. Again, May already knows, you guys. Especially when we see Bishop, he puts on his favorite vinyl of his gospel song. I'm gonna lay down my burdens. He's listening to it with a drink. He got a picture of his favorite girls, May, Charity, and Grace, right next to the record player. And he's just having a good time sitting there listening. And I was just like, yes, it's coming, you guys. Now we see Grace, she gets a call from Cal, and Cal was like, all right, I'm about to tell you something, and I don't want to have no conversation about it. I'm going to tell you this, and then we ain't going to talk no more. Okay, you got that? Grace says yes. He says, Eden Bell Lending. She says, what? Eden Bell Lending. That's all Cal got for him. Please don't call me no more. Until Darius don't call me no more either. And he hangs up the phone. Then we see Grace. She take it on to the hospital. After that, she gonna sit in the lobby and wait around, I guess, until AJ decides he wants to talk to her. Okay, nothing like a mother's love. And lastly, we see Jacob, he trying to explain to the boy, what's going on, whatever's happening, they gonna figure it out. He gonna always be there for him. Yada, yada, yada. What can an 8-year-old say to that? But okay, these kids don't understand exactly what you're talking about, but fine. Oh, you know what? They fishing and the fish ain't biting. Well, let me look in this tackle box and see if I can find something else. So he reaching around in the tackle box, and then he feels a piece of paper. He pulls it out and it's an envelope. He looking like, is this what I've been looking for? Dumbass. He opens it up and it says the last will and testament of Loretta Davis. And Loretta Davis is the lady that deeded the property over to James and Lady Mae back in the day. So after that, we see Jacob. He goes and knocks on some apartment door. And who should open the door but Tasha the skank? I said, not a blast from the past. You know, she looks around. Jacob. I said, Jacob, now how you know what Tasha the skank is? You supposed to have been so good. You been keeping tabs on this girl? Anyway, he sees her and he was like, Tasha the skank, I need to find Basie. And she says, oh, Jacob, Basie is dead. And that's the way it ends. All right, Jacob, go on and get with your girl. I mean, at least Tasha the skank truly did love you, honey, because it ain't gonna work out with that damn Zora mama. That bitch crazy. With old evil mean self. All right, you guys, let me get off of here. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.